It's a great privilege working here at the Royal Town Planning Institute because we are able to provide an expert voice to government from both public, private and voluntary sectors on just exactly what would work to deliver the outcomes we all want to see in terms of housing, the environment and transport. The Living Up Bill is a proposal from the UK government published in May 2022 to regenerate and level up the country. But actually it includes a large amount of planning material which the government considers is appropriate to reform the planning system in England. Well, we think in the RTPI that the Levelling Up Bill could be improved in 4 ways. The first one is to enable virtual planning committees to restart again following lockdown. The second way will be to make sure that the government's proposed national development management policies are subject to extensive consultation with the public and also sign off by both houses of parliament. Third one is we really think that there should be statutory chief planning officers in each local planning authority in England. And fourthly, we think that the government's proposals for environmental assessment should include, as a minimum, consideration of alternatives to projects and also public involvement in the environmental assessment process. On the 22nd of December, just before Christmas, when we were all thinking it was okay to pack up to go on holiday, the government published a long document on planning policy. This includes proposals to be immediately implemented in April on changing national planning policy. It also includes the government's tentative ideas for what would happen when that Levelling Up Bill becomes law later in 2023 about the future shape of national policy, the way in which we'll transition from the current planning system to a new planning system. The RTPI is going to respond to the consultation that was launched on the 22nd of December on national planning policy. For this reason, during January and February, we are holding workshops with our members up and down the country in person. But at this stage, I can already say that one of the things we would like to see in a future national planning policy is much more attention paid to climate change and also to sustainable transport. And in line with current RTPI policy, there's also an interesting suggestion from the government that the purposes of green belts should be widened from the current 5 purposes to include something in relation to landscape improvement, and that's certainly a very interesting idea to explore. As well as the consultation which is now open, I expect there'll be a lot more consultations from the government in relation to planning during this year. In particular, for example, consultation on raising planning fees to cope with the severe resource constraints in local authorities, and another consultation on what exactly does the government mean by an environmental outcomes report? How are we going to replace the legislation that we've inherited from the European Union? So these 2 and many others are going to keep me and my colleagues very busy during the rest of this year.